Alright, so I was going to post this series from RLCS because it was an insane series, but I also just wanted to talk to you guys about something that's really important, and hopefully this video can help some of you guys and ultimately make Rocket League a better game all around. I want to talk about toxicity in video games. So at this point, most of my videos are tutorials and how-tos, but in all honesty, this may actually be the most helpful video that you watch. If you can understand why people become toxic in video games and how to deal with getting triggered, you'll be so much better off. Alright, a few years back, Riot Games, which is the parent company to League of Legends, hired a research team to try to figure out why the League of Legends community is so toxic, and how to make the community more enjoyable for newer players because people were leaving because of having a bad experience. They found that only 1% of players were consistently toxic. So a majority of the toxicity came from average players who were basically just having a bad day or just got triggered because of something that happened. This meant that banning players who were consistently toxic would actually have very little effect on the community. So they ran a bunch of massive experiments. In some of the experiments, they created tips that would pop up throughout the game. Some of the tips gave warnings about the consequences of verbal harassment, and other tips reinforced the idea that players and teams perform better when given positive feedback. These tips actually really helped to lower in-game toxicity. Now, we all know that everything just gets worse when teammates are toxic. Here's my question though. Why do we think it's acceptable to be toxic towards people in online games? Let me give you a scenario. You sign up for a club basketball team. So it's pretty competitive, right? It's not just a pickup game. And in your first game, your teammate has a breakaway and a wide open layup. And he chucks it off the backboard and the other team ends up scoring. Can you imagine how awkward and horrible it would be if you told him to go kill himself? Only a complete monster would say something like that. No, you'd tell him it was okay, no big deal. It would take a lot for you to even give him constructive criticism. You would be just completely positive. The reason we have no problem saying horrible things to people in video games is that we don't see a person behind it all. Now, I don't know about you, but I love Rocket League, and I want to see it stick around. So, when you get pissed off, take a deep breath and take a break. And when people are toxic towards you, report them and just move on. If you can learn to have self-control in this area, you'll win more games. I found that when teammates do things that are really stupid, and I just say no problem, or it's all good, or we got this, that we have a much better chance of winning. When I get angry and I say nothing, or I just say something rude, we usually end up forfeiting or just losing. One of the things I found is that as you get better and start to rank up, you find less toxicity, which shows us that better players are less toxic. So keep playing, keep working at it, don't be someone who's toxic, and you'll find yourself in a community of players who aren't really toxic at all. Once you get to the high levels, nobody's really toxic. Alright, well, thanks for listening to that. Also, make sure to like this video so that more people can find it. Peace out.